My name is Brent Ochoa. I am 16 years old. Today is November 29th. I am speaking with Mark Ochoa, who is my father, and we are recording this interview in his car. My dad stayed out of trouble when he was younger and met his girlfriend in high school.
I want to say, I think when I was a junior in high school, and my friend Tom Jager asked me to double date with him, with a girl. And we liked each other right off the bat. And our first date actually was to Barnum and Bailey Circus. And we just became really good friends. Well, we dated in high school. I was 17 when I graduated, and she was 2 years younger. So I was 17, she was 15 at the time. I was a senior, and she was a sophomore. And she was my prom date and everything. And so after we graduated, she tried to sneak over to my house one day during the summer, and her parents caught her. I was threatened by her father that if I ever seen her again, that they would have me put in jail. And I don't believe her dad ever liked me anyway. I mean, I'm not sure what his reasoning was, but I think it had to do with racial. So I didn't really want to go to jail, so I just stopped seeing her daughter. And she, of course, was grounded like for the rest of her life kind of a thing. Didn't know why I didn't see her anymore. So basically the whole rest of the time I was home through that summer and then through the winter, we didn't really communicate at all. And then I went in the Coast Guard, and that's when I started, because I had her address and everything, I started mailing her letters off. But I never, ever got any responses, ever. She's never knew about it until we reconnected many years later that I was even doing it. And I think the last year I stopped, I came home for a summer to visit when I was living in Michigan in the Coast Guard. And I talked to her on the phone. I was unaware of it at the time, but she was working 2 jobs and was too busy to see me. I didn't know, because she was on her own. She also had moved out of her house 6 months after we broke up, after her mom and dad caught us. But I never knew that. So she's pretty much been on her own since she was 16 years old. She had her own apartment. What I also didn't know, which I found out later, is that my mother, who worked for the circuit court, actually helped her get her first job.
With his high school sweetheart out of the picture, he tried for many years to date other people.
No, I was never really close to. I dated a lot of girls. Not through that first, I want to say at least 2 years. I actually never was with another girl again for almost 3 years. So yeah, relationships did change, With your mother, I settled. I felt as though, I had dated a few girls after I got out of the service and stuff. It just never worked out, though. Nobody connected. And there was many times that I wasn't dating in any relationship at all. And it didn't bother me that much. I was always looking. But, there was never, I guess I was just kind of choosy. And it was hard to, I really liked Miss Ralph, and we were really, so connected. When we were best friends. I guess that had a lot to do with it. We were very good friends. And I never found that again with anybody else. I really didn't.
With my parents getting a divorce, my father began to see new people.
I was getting ready for my 30th year class reunion. It was coming up. And Comcast, we just signed in to the internet. Comcast was just coming out with the internet. And I signed on to it because I needed it for work. And they offered a free 1-year classmates.com. And I knew my reunion was coming up, so I signed up on it, And of course, I seen some friends from school that I knew, guys and stuff, So it was kind of cool just to, email, see what they've been up to. I still seen a lot of people around town anyway. And she obviously had just did the same thing and gotten on it. Because after we talked, we found out we did both just signed up on it 2 weeks before, And we found each other, sent her an email, hey, how you doing? Haven't talked to you in 30 years. How's it going? And, I didn't even know her name was. I didn't know who, I just knew Mary Beth. I didn't know anything else, who she was married to or what her last name, where she was even living. Had no idea. And the whole thing about meeting also, which was the whole classmate thing, how we really, really connected, other than that, was that Brandon, when I changed schools, you guys went to St. Damien. I moved you from St. Stan to St. Damien because St. Stan was closing. And Miss Ralph, seeing Brandon at school, she was a lunch mother there. She would spend like one day or something like that a week as a lunch mother, take time off. And her son, her youngest son, and my oldest became best friends without us even knowing.
Are you happy with life?
Absolutely. You know what? The saddest part about my life is that I'm not with you guys every day. That's the hardest thing. The best part about my life is that I don't fight every day. And I'm sure that affected you guys watching the fighting and the nastiness. And it's not good for you guys. It's probably the best thing that's ever happened to me. I'm with a woman who totally loves me and who I totally love. It's kind of hard to explain how I don't think I've ever been this content in my entire life. But now, I can't explain to you the content that I have being with somebody that actually loves you beyond, how much you even care for yourself or anything. Somebody that would do anything for you. And she's helped me out so much. The years have been hard. The last 3 years have been hard. And she's always been there for me every step of the way. And I can't say that about anybody ever in my whole life that's been there as much as she has been for me. So, yeah, it was the best choice and the best thing I've ever done. You got to know that love is real. It's out there. But you got to wait for it. You can't force it upon yourself. People try to. Can't do that. It's there, though. Just got to find it.